On the 4th of November 2011, Lance Corporal Jonathon Galloudec will be embarking on a 3-week expedition to Everest Base Camp to raise money for Help for Heroes.
My role in the army was I was an infantry soldier. That's all I ever wanted to do, was just play around in the dirt, go and exercise and be a frontline soldier.
What makes Jonathon's expedition so extraordinary is that in 2007, whilst on frontline duty with the British Army in Iraq, he was shot in the spine and told by doctors that he would never walk again.
In 2007, I ended up in Iraq, fighting on the front line, where it kind of went a little bit wrong. I was shot in the spine by a sniper. Immediately I was rendered paralysed from the waist down. So I couldn't move, I just slumped a heap on the floor. I think it was 2 weeks after my initial shooting that they told me that I'd never walk again. I think a month into being there, I started feeling some sensation at the top of my legs. I then panicked, thinking that I was meant to be paralysed. So I rang the nurse and told them, look, I could still feel my legs, and the doctor came and looked at me and sort of scratched his head. He didn't know why I was starting to feel again.
Whilst Jonathon has made a remarkable recovery from his injuries over the past 4 years, and his progress and mobility have both confounded and amazed his doctors, every day remains a struggle against pain and disability, and his recovery is slow and ongoing.
I get a lot of nerve pain running down my legs, in my spine, in my feet, and anything from the waist down. And on different days, I could have different types of pain. Every day I have to take drugs to combat that, because I've got absolutely nothing in the ankle whatsoever. I can't hold it up. And so when putting it in, it'll sometimes just fold in on itself, and I won't know until about 10 seconds later when I'm crying in pain. As you can see how tight they have to be done up.
The Everest Base Camp Expedition will be no walk in the park, and his injuries will provide him with numerous additional challenges.
The injury has forced me to slow down. I now have to pace myself and just accept that some things I just cannot do as well as I used to be able to do before the injury.
On this expedition, Jonathon will be joined by his father, Steve, himself an ex-serviceman.
I think actually we'll be supporting each other in a lot of ways. We have quite a good relationship. But also I know his limits and his weaknesses, and so I think there'll be a bit of both. There'll be keeping him going and probably him keeping me going as well.
Steve's presence will be invaluable during the arduous weeks ahead, as will support from Energizer, who is sponsoring Jonathon's Everest Base Camp Expedition.
I lost my dear friend on the night I got injured, and ever since I've taken him everywhere with me. He was my main motivation for getting out of the hospital bed. My main thing is I live my life for him as well now, because he made the ultimate sacrifice and gave up his life so I could live mine.
Jonathon is no stranger to a challenge, however hard. In 2009, he reached the summit of Kilimanjaro, Africa's highest peak, as part of a Help for Heroes fundraising expedition.
Mount Kilimanjaro was done within 7 days. This is going to be done within 3 weeks, and so you're going to be looking at more of the endurance on this, and the longer I'm out there, the more chance the onset of pain. The reason why I wanted to climb these mountains was they have the same, once something is taken away from you, you want it more. As well as a challenge for Help for Heroes, it was a challenge within myself. I wanted to prove that I am just as good as all these other 20 able-bodied people there. And by getting to the top, it was a personal challenge just to say, look at me, I'm normal. Even though I'm not, I can still do normal things.
Next stop is Everest Base Camp, and thank you for all your support.
If you wish to support Jonathon on his Everest Base Camp expedition, you can follow his progress, leave messages of support, get his latest updates, or make a donation either via Facebook or through the expedition website.